Me Bank taken to court. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your morning stein of coffee and let's have a look at this article which is discussing Me Bank being taken to court by the Australian Security and Investment Commission. Now, remember, cast your mind back to a year ago, everyone, and Me Bank made it into the news for not very good reasons. It was the Me Bank redraw bail-in. And I've got a few videos you can see here on the channel. You know, Me Bank was bailing in. Hang on, I'll make sure my pen's working here. Me Bank was bailing in home loans, everyone. If you'd paid extra on your home loan, you had it sitting there, you know, as a part of your redraw facility because you wanted to, I don't know, maybe spend that money doing a renovation on your house or something else, they started bailing it in if you weren't meeting their loan criteria anymore. They could change the rules. It was all perfectly fine for them to do in their terms and conditions, but people didn't respond well, and the CEO ended up resigning over it. So let's have a look at how Me Bank are in the news once again. I mean, are you a fan of them, guys? Do you bank with them? Let us know in the comments. I mean, one bank's pretty much another bank, but we'll see. So ASIC hauls Me Bank to court, everyone. So ASIC hauls Me Bank to court, and this is from Yahoo Finance by Eliza Bavin. Yahoo Finance understands ASIC has launched proceedings against Me Bank for allegedly not informing customers of changes to its interest rates within the required period. Oh boy. While not revealing much in its public statement, ASIC will allege Me Bank had made false or misleading representations. Yahoo Finance understands the representations related to Me Bank failing to notify customers about interest rate changes attached to its home loans as required under the ASIC Act and National Credit Code. I mean, you keep an eye on your interest, guys, that you're paying on your mortgages or anything really. One thing I used to tell my staff when I had staff was one of the advantages of having your super with a bank that you bank with is that you may be able to see it instantly. You may be able to see it instantly. And it may have a slightly, because it's a retail bank, it may be a slightly less return than some of the other ones, but you'll see it. And you'll see the money getting paid in there. Because I had friends who, well, they never checked it. How often do you check it if it's off in some other thing? And this is, this is another example, I know, but it's similar to this, to checking your mortgage rates. You never check it. And then they lose their jobs, and their boss has been lying on their paperwork and hasn't paid them super for like a year. That's another argument against it. If you super coming from the boss, maybe it should come from the individual, people starting to pay it individually into it. But it's the same thing as taxation here in Australia. They don't trust the normal person. And then when people are starting to pay for these things with their own bloody money, actually moving it out of their account to the government, to the super funds, then they might actually take an interest in it. We can't have that. So, if you're involved in and interacting with these products, then you're aware of it. You know what's going on. If you're seeing, a quarter, nothing's come in, you chase the boss, going, where's my super? I haven't gotten paid. Sure, you give me this piece of paper, but I have my statement that I'm looking at every time I, move money around isn't there. With your mortgage, I would suggest if you're attacking it, you do the little, extra, tiny micro additional payments, I'll call that. Say you're going out and you normally buy your coffee from the coffee shop and you switch, you've been watching HeiseSays and you think, you know what, I'm going to try one of those 7-Eleven coffees that Florian rambles about all the time, and you get hooked. So you're saving $4 a day on your coffees and you think, you know what, I'm going to just start chucking that $4 off the mortgage. I'm not going to buy myself another treat. I'm not going to use it as an excuse to buy a computer game. I'm just going to throw it off the mortgage. And then all of a sudden, that's $20, $40, $80 a month off the mortgage that you wouldn't have otherwise. You think, oh, that doesn't sound much, but you add it up over a year, there's $800, nearly $1,000 extra off the mortgage. And the other thing is you're interacting with that account manually all the time. So you start to see it, you start to keep an eye on it, and you notice when things like this happen. I think that's what it all comes back to, is taking financial interest and literacy in what you're doing, getting involved. Little things like that I think could be quite effective. I mean, I trust that more than ASIC coming to the rescue, because you've got to understand, look at this. This is the, there's arguments that they want to keep the banks monitored by ASIC, but they're coming way late after everything's happened. The corporate regulator will allege the bank contravened the ASIC Act by making one or more false or misleading representations with respect to the price of their services. What we need to do, we need to have our politicians held by the same standards. I keep thinking back to Mediscare. Complete lies, propaganda sent out to people all across Queensland, affected the election results, helped Labor get in. And there you go. False or misleading. Wouldn't that be good? Personally fine politicians if they lied. If Polly lies, lose your house. What do you think? Let me know if you like that idea. I mean, we just saw Biden, student debt forgiveness now. Nothing. That's how, I mean, look at that election. People are thinking, it's all dodgy. But he promised a lot of free stuff to people. Complete lies. And the media was all over it. Really amping it up. Oh, well, they'll learn. MeBank made the misrepresentation between September 2016 and September, 2018. So years ago. And now ASIC is on the case. Additionally, ASIC will accuse the bank of not notifying customers within the 20-day requirement when it made changes to the amount, frequency, time of payment, or method of calculation for home loan repayments. All offences alleged by ASIC are strict liability offences, with Senior Associate at Hunt & Hunt lawyer Lauren Boyd told Yahoo Finance means the bank would be liable regardless of whether or not they intended to commit the offences. They could rely on a mistake of fact offence, though that would be difficult, Boyd said. If convicted, MeBank could be fined up to $22,200 for each contravention under the credit code and $440,000 for each contravention under the ASIC Act. It's not clear how many contraventions occurred over the span of 2 years. Yahoo Finance reached out to ASIC for comment, but a spokesperson said they will not be commenting prior to the first hearing. No date has been set yet for the hearing, and the matter will be handled by the Commonwealth Director of Public Prosecutions. So MeBank is in hot water again. Back in April last year, MeBank was accused of silently shifting out customers' money available in their home loan redraw facility. Angry customers said at the time that moving the money into the loan account made the cash inaccessible during financially stressful times at the height of COVID. See, here's the thing, guys, with banks. You've got to realize there's an all money in clause. So they can take all your money and do whatever they want with it, even if you have it in different accounts, and combine it all together. Look it up. That's a real thing. This is why, if you have an emergency fund, you want to keep it separate from your home loan bank. If you've got a business bank, you want to keep it completely separate from your personal bank and your home loan bank. You want to separate these things around, everyone. If you're afraid of the risk of bail-in, and frankly, I can't see that happening here in Australia. I can see the government doing whatever they can to avoid it, printing money to the moon. That's another factor. But it's if your bank doesn't like you, they can just say, nah, sorry, we're getting rid of this service, this service, this service. You need to spread it around, guys. Don't just stick with one. Don't just stick with the CommBank because you had the Dolomite thing as a kid. Shop around. Look at a few other ones. You don't want to have it all with one bank. You want to make them work for it too. The Banking Code Compliance Committee confirmed this month it had sanctioned MeBank for its actions last year. The BCCC's chair, Ian Govey, said efficient and effective communication with customers is a paramount requirement of the code. MeBank's failure to rectify long-standing system issues was a contributing factor to its poor conduct at the time. It made adjustments to the customers' redraw amounts. It was imperative that MeBank notified customers prior to making any adjustments to their redraw facilities, especially given the changes took place when the pandemic was significant, or the lockdowns were significantly affecting customers' livelihoods. MeBank should have given special consideration to the potential health impacts its communication or lack thereof would have had on customers. I mean, I read this type of stuff. I read this type of stuff, and these organizations, these bunch of bureaucrats putting these responsibilities on the bank. And I mean, I'm coming from a world of small business. I'm coming from a world of dealing with dodgy developers, your clients, and no one gives a crap about this stuff when you're a small business owner. Come on. See, one side, I appreciate this. I think, okay, you should be considering that. You should be conscious of the health impacts of it. But another is, we've got to toughen up a bit here. Come on. What's stressful is when someone wants to take legal action with you and you get a letter from a lawyer at 5 p.m. on Christmas Eve, right before the holiday shutdowns. That really affects your Christmas. And I know, because I've been in that situation. It's fun and games, guys. Oh, it gets you angry. It gets you real angry. That's just really a knife in the back, that one. You know. So there it is, guys. I guess there's a different world. Some people may not have just learned to deal with such levels of stress. I mean, that's one of the challenges of working in the construction industry. And that's the problem with architecture, to be quite frank, is the risk-reward ratio. If I look at how much money I can potentially make on a project, and I compare the risks that are involved in that project, it kind of doesn't make sense sometimes. You know, a government job, tendering for a school, 100 grand in fees, but then they want me to take on every engineer under me. So I'm liable for anything that could go wrong with any mistake that they make. And even if I'm completely in the clear, all the suing has to go through me to get to them. And even just that process itself, that's stressful enough. So I'm now to a point now, no, sorry, I can't be bothered. You know, I'm not even going to tender on a job if it has that requirements. It's just part of life. I guess you learn that type of stuff the older you get, and you get a little bit more grumpier, you know. So what's the solutions to this? Financial literacy, guys. Financial literacy. You know, we want freedom from debt, because then you'll start to get people thinking more individually, politically, I'm hoping. And let's, you know, teach them a little bit about Austrian economics. Be a good idea. What do you reckon? At least something. Something. And the micro engagements with these financial products that you're taking, that are making a big part of your life, so you know what's going on with super, with your home loans. You know, don't. If someone's laughing at you, oh, you're only paying $4 extra on your mortgage. You know, you know, flex. I did this crypto thing and paid it all off in one hit. You know, that's them. Let them do that. Don't let that get to you. You know, do what you can and build up from it. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one in the comments down below. If you're a fan and enjoy the content I create here, there are a few ways you can support us. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. Sign up for SelfWealth or Stake. Use our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. Buy merch from HeiseSays. Use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.